This is Motor Beat, bringing you breaking financial news as it happens. A stunning development has just emerged from the global currency markets, and it is one that many investors, economists, and currency watchers have been anticipating and speculating on for years. As of 5 minutes ago, the Iraqi Dinar, or IQD, has officially revalued. Yes, you heard that correctly. The new rate is now being reported live at 3.47 IQD to the US dollar, signaling a monumental shift in Iraq's monetary policy and potentially one of the most impactful currency events of the decade. This move comes amid weeks of rising speculation, but now, it's no longer a rumor or unverified claim. It's real, and it's live. The global financial community is now adjusting to the magnitude of this change, and early reactions are pouring in from currency exchanges, economic analysts, and major institutional players. The dinar, once undervalued and a point of contention for investors and policy advisors alike, has now surged to a value that puts it on par with some of the strongest currencies in the region. The implications of this revaluation are enormous, not just for Iraq's economy, but also for foreign investors, international trade balances, and potentially the entire geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. For context, the Iraqi dinar had long traded at a significantly lower rate, suppressed by decades of conflict, sanctions, economic instability, and the lingering effects of foreign occupation. However, in recent years, Iraq has made consistent progress in stabilizing its fiscal structure, reforming key institutions, and asserting control over its oil revenues. The Central Bank of Iraq has been quietly preparing for this transition with a mix of foreign reserve accumulation, digital financial modernization, and tighter regulatory measures. Still, very few expected the revaluation to happen this quickly, and certainly not at this magnitude. As the new rate of 3.47 IQD per USD goes live, financial markets across the globe are already reacting. Trading platforms are experiencing a surge in IQD-related activity. Currency brokers are reportedly being overwhelmed by demand, and major Forex trading apps are seeing an influx of users logging in to verify the news. It's a moment that many believed might never come, or, if it did, would take decades. But the reports are now confirmed, and the numbers are being reflected in real time. We are witnessing what could be the most significant foreign currency revaluation in the 21st century so far. This event has been years in the making, from investors who have held on to dinars through years of uncertainty, to financial institutions who quietly prepared their systems for any potential overnight change. The anticipation has been building steadily. The Iraqi government's recent budget overhaul, combined with the restructuring of its oil contracts and the digitization of trade settlements, all signaled that something significant was in motion. But until this moment, there was no definitive action. Now, with the rate officially shifted, all eyes are on Baghdad, where officials from the Central Bank and Ministry of Finance are expected to address the world shortly. Initial responses from global institutions have been cautiously optimistic. The International Monetary Fund has not yet released an official statement, but sources close to the matter suggest that the IMF had been in close consultation with Iraqi officials in the lead-up to this event. US and European banks, many of which had previously frozen or deprioritized dinar transactions, are now scrambling to update their internal systems. The revaluation also raises immediate questions for those holding IQD in both cash and digital forms. Holders of physical currency are being urged to verify the latest exchange options and procedures, as many financial platforms may temporarily freeze conversions while they update their infrastructure. This dramatic revaluation is expected to have wide-reaching economic impacts. For the Iraqi people, this could signal a newfound strength in purchasing power and a potential decline in the cost of imported goods. For investors abroad, especially those who accumulated IQD over the past decade in hopes of such a moment, the upside could be significant, but it also depends heavily on how smoothly the transition is managed. The Central Bank of Iraq will now face the delicate task of maintaining currency stability in the aftermath of this monumental shift. Currency revaluations of this size often come with risks of inflationary pushback, speculative bubbles, and imbalances in trade flows, all of which will need to be carefully monitored in the days and weeks ahead. Meanwhile, in currency markets, the IQD is now entering a new era of valuation. Forex platforms are undergoing swift recalibration to integrate the new exchange rate, and central banks across the Middle East and North Africa are revisiting their currency reserves in light of the change. The Gulf Cooperation Council is reportedly holding emergency discussions to assess the ripple effects. Iraq's move could embolden other regional economies to reassess their own currency pegs and exchange mechanisms. Behind the scenes, it's clear that the Iraqi government has been working in lockstep with global financial bodies to prepare for this moment. The digital infrastructure upgrades rolled out earlier this year now appear to have been part of a much larger plan. Those upgrades included new verification protocols, a central banking app overhaul, and tighter restrictions on black market currency exchange activity. Many now see these moves not as isolated reforms, but as necessary precursors to today's action. It suggests this revaluation was not spontaneous, but a well-coordinated monetary maneuver. Still, some analysts are warning investors to tread carefully. While the 3.47 rate is now live and reflected across a number of international trading platforms, the longevity and sustainability of this valuation remain to be seen. Factors such as oil price volatility, political dynamics in Baghdad, and global demand for Iraqi exports will all play a role in determining whether the dinar can hold its new value in the months ahead. The possibility of short-term fluctuations or secondary adjustments cannot be ruled out. In the past, rapid currency shifts have sometimes led to inflationary shocks or speculative corrections. That being said, the sentiment on the ground right now is one of historic change and national financial assertion. From a geopolitical standpoint, this revaluation may reshape Iraq's position in the global economy. A stronger dinar gives the country greater leverage in international trade deals, particularly those involving oil exports, construction contracts, and infrastructure partnerships. It may also attract new waves of foreign investment, especially from companies looking to establish a foothold in a newly stable economic zone. Already, there are unconfirmed reports of multinational corporations accelerating their entry plans into Iraq's growing markets. Back home, reactions from Iraqi citizens are mixed but mostly hopeful. Social media is buzzing with screenshots of exchange apps, videos of long lines forming outside currency exchange centers, and celebratory posts from Iraqis who believe their currency has finally regained the respect it deserves. For many, this revaluation is more than just a financial change. It's a symbolic return to sovereignty, stability, and international legitimacy. It's important to note that as of now, the revaluation appears to be officially implemented and is not a test or trial run. Currency exchanges in Dubai, London, Frankfurt, and New York are all displaying the new rate. Major banks including HSBC, JP Morgan, and Deutsche Bank are said to be issuing internal alerts to currency desks and high-net-worth clients regarding the change. This is not a speculative rumor. It is happening, and the numbers are being reflected across financial systems worldwide. Looking forward, the coming 24 to 72 hours will be critical. Market volatility is expected, particularly as latecomers try to position themselves around the new IQD valuation. Authorities are likely to implement strict anti-speculation measures to prevent a currency bubble. Travel and remittance services may also see a temporary surge, with many looking to capitalize on the new rate. Financial regulators will be closely watching transaction volumes and capital flows to prevent any destabilizing activity. This is a moment that has reshaped the global financial chessboard. It raises major questions for policymakers, economists, and even retail investors. Will this be a singular revaluation or the beginning of a broader monetary transformation in the region? How will Iraq use the newfound strength of its currency to stabilize and grow its economy? And how will the world respond? We will be following every development closely as this historic story unfolds. Stay tuned to MotorBeat for real-time updates and analysis as we continue to monitor the IQD's market behavior, global reactions, and the broader financial consequences of what is now being called the most dramatic currency revaluation in modern history. This has been your breaking news update. Stay alert, stay informed, and keep watching.